I am all about saving a dollar, so if I can figure out how to do so, I will definitely listen to what you've got to proposition me with. AJ McCall on VFX, the Automatrix Group debate at 8. However, I also have this weird bugaboo about used things.
Right.
Everybody has their thing, right? If it's pre-owned, for whatever reason, you don't want to do it. So when it comes to clothes, where do you stand on that? Like, I know you got the DI right here, Goodwill's everywhere. There's what's that place back home? You could buy used stuff, right? Everybody drops their stuff off, and you go and buy stuff that maybe you wouldn't wander in. Nobody's going to pay for that American Eagle sweatshirt when it's like $75. But hey, $20.
Why not?
At Plato's Closet was a place back home.
Plato's Closet is here too.
Okay, well, yeah, all right. Yeah, sure. But the future apparently is renting clothes. So are you in?
I think it's a great idea. I really like wearing unique pieces of clothing.
Fair.
And I like owning them, but the pieces of clothing that I really like to wear, I saw a pair of pants just the other day that I thought, wow, those are really cute pants. And then I looked them up and they were like $75. And I thought, wow, I really don't want to spend $75 for a pair of pants I will probably wear one time because I have no idea how to wash them. Okay. They were fancy, like sequiny-ish design pants. How the H do you wash that?
No, it's fair.
So I think renting is a great idea.
See, to me, and we'll get into that part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I figured that would be the case, but to me, like, this is a ploy for not ploy. Sorry, it's not ploy. I think it's legitimate, but this is a thing for parents, right?
Right.
Because who knows when your growth spurt's going to come, but you know it's going to come. My freshman to high school or sophomore year, I grew 6 inches, so all of a sudden, my wardrobe was just null and void anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I can totally understand because now that my friends are having kids and right, you people have kids, your friends are having kids, your aunts and uncles, whatever it is, you start thinking about that and you're like, buy clothes, but I mean they're gonna sprout like a weed, and next thing you know, like I always think the same thing when I see babies with cute shoes, like they're cool shoes.
Yeah.
Was it really worth dropping $70 on designer Chucks?
No.
When they're not gonna wear them.
You wear them 4 times.
Right.
Seriously, that's it.
Like this pro pair thing, right? Like we had Ginger on the phone. Ginger, what do you think?
I think renting clothes is a great idea. It costs so much for kids' clothes nowadays, and they grow out of them too quickly. So this way, you can just rent them for a while and then just rent new ones, and it's a win-win. I really like the idea.
Hey, you get them some base stuff, right? The stuff they play in. Thank you, Ginger. 435-787-0945. You get them some base stuff to play in, right? And then, like, I'm thinking personally, formal wear. Like, why would you waste the money on the nicer, more expensive stuff? Rent it for the occasion you need it, and then you're done.
Yeah.
But McCall said she's all about it. And honestly, that really surprised anybody? No, right? Because she's all stylish and decked out to the nines all the time. So the question is, like, not parents, or I guess not people of the ilk where you're going to go out and dating or formal wear. Would you like to be able to rent the clothes and maybe just wander through and just be like, all right, what do you got? Something about wearing somebody else's stuff, cleaned or not, and this is coming from someone with no sense of style whatsoever. Would you like to be able to rent clothes? Whatever options you go in, you're like, all right, I'll take some of that, some of that, some of that. Give me it. I'll be back next week. Renting clothes expected to become more and more popular, and it makes complete sense because if you think about it, it's just the way things have transitioned. You don't necessarily pay to own stuff. It's the way things are going. AJ McCall for the Automatrix Group debate at 8. Clothes makes a complete sense because then you wouldn't have to invest in the whole thing. You can just get it for a little bit, pay one flat fee, and you're done. You're out. Parent-wise, we already heard from Ginger, and parents are messaging on social media. It makes complete sense. I totally get that concept because kids grow like weeds. Why would you spend the money? And then all of a sudden they're out of it. Now you turn around and getting rid of it.
Right.
My question, McCall already started out by saying, yeah, she's into it. She would love to have to basically expand your wardrobe for a nominal fee.
I think that it's a great idea because, like I said, I really like having statement pieces, but I don't want to buy statement pieces to wear one time.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, Ashley went shopping in Chicago and spent some money because it was nicer clothes, and I think she'll wear the crap out of them. But then you're like, man, clothes just really get expensive.
They do.
And so I'm like, saving money, yes. But renting clothes, I don't know. Chris is on the line. What do you think? Renting clothes, yay or nay?
I just wish I would have known it was around a long time ago. in my line of work, I'm always going to like black tie affairs and things like that, where you see the same people, so you can't wear the same things. So like I'm always dropping the money on suits that I only wear like once or twice. So it would be great for me.
That makes sense, I guess, because I have no sense of style to talk about whatsoever. So, yeah, I mean, let me ask you this. So that makes sense with the formal stuff. What about dates? Would you consider it like when you were going out and about, like, all right, I'm going to get a style upgrade and wander in?
Probably because, like, I don't want to, like, brag, but I make a decent amount of money, but, like, I don't like to spend it. So if I can save $1 anywhere, I'm doing that.
I like the humble brag. Would I like to be dressed a little bit nicer? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're like, okay, how do you balance it out? And there's that whole thing. Here's a question then. Does that mean that on top of this renting service that you could start like a makeover service, right? Like I could wander and be like, hey, I got a date. I want to keep it somewhat casual, but I got to, give me something. And then there's like a fleet of people or 3 or 4 ladies, dudes, whatever. And they're like, all right, so what's your date like? What do you like? And they have like a questionnaire you fill out. And then based on that, they're like, all right, let's run you through the machine here. And they figure out and you try in a bunch of things, right? You get your own montage.
I think that's a great idea business-wise. I don't know how you'd be able to run it with like a brick and mortar type situation, because I know a lot of people do like personal stylists. They have them hired, which is great. I think that's a great idea. There's a lady that I followed on TikTok and she followed me back. Turns out she's based out of Salt Lake and that's her job.
Interesting. Like a consultant. Like you'd have 3 consultants because they're not your personalized. They're there to just give you an opinion based on you fill out a simple. They'd have to formulate it down to a handful of
like
questions.
5.
Yeah.
Problem
so they
is,
could figure it out.
Yeah. Problem is how would you run that? Like I said, brick and mortar wise, to be there all the time just in case somebody rolls in and needs it. You would have to hire it, like contract it out.
Have to be appointment based or something. That's fair. That's a good
Yeah.
point. Look at us adulting here.
Wow.
Not only have we talked about this industry, we've now improved this industry already.
That's right.
Patent pending.
The non-existent industry.
Patent pending.
Patent pending.
Patent pending.
We got it.
Dibs, copyright, whatever.